mental health. Another mental health check-in. We haven't, done one of these in a little while. How are you, Dow Jones? How's it going on in mental health? 1 to 10. How are you?
I say it's a solid 6.
6.
Yeah, I was getting kind of antsy earlier on, week and a half ago, feeling that kind of like need a fight club in my life type of situation.
I feel
But
you. I feel you.
I'm working towards getting a good regimen physically put together. So I have a friend who's going to help me put that together. You know, then everything will be in line.
Okay, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. I definitely can relate. Over the last week and a half, I've been floating in around a 5 and a 6 too. But before we get about that, what about trickery in you?
Generally, I sit at about a 7, but
Okay.
there's been a couple 5s, couple 4s. It varies. There's a lot of stress when you got 4 kids. G's all you
Yeah,
catching
I can
up.
only imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just within the last episode, I just had another child. So my third one is here, but I have sleep problems now. Like, whoa. The first day with all 3 kids was like, all right, who's gonna put down who? There's more of them than us now. Like, what? Like,
Yeah,
who
outnumbered.
puts who to sleep? Like,
Yep.
so yeah. And then someone's always gonna wake up. So we're trying to figure that out. But we're gonna push through because I love my kids and I'm gonna do whatever I need to do and I need to adjust. But I do need to get my mental health in order, and that's something that for the first time in life I'm going to be cognizant of. As men, and especially specifically Black men, we really don't. There's a stigma around mental health. If you say the words mental health, they just assume that you're crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking to yourself? You crazy?
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, no, there's more to mental health than that. And me growing up, I'm embracing that. I realized a lot of things I did when I was younger. You just, you put them on the back end, you repress them, and then you hit a trigger.
Yeah, and then they come right
and
back
it
up.
comes back. Yeah, and it's not always the best moments that it comes back, and you can't always control when that trigger sets off. But so I've been floated. I would say I floated. We've been from like a 4 to at the highest of 6. 7 because I did get engaged recently, so I had a child.
Congratulations
Those are 2
again.
high moments. Yes, but in those high moments, there's the anger. Sometimes takes over in those other moments and the stress levels of dealing with all type of stuff. So I'm going to be cognizant now of my mental health since I've been working on my physical health as well.
And as we already know, physical health leads to better mental health. It's
Yeah.
facts. That's
And I need it with 3 kids. I need to be mentally stable. Like,
yep.
I think it's only for my kids. Like if it was just me, I'd probably just be mentally unstable for my life. But for my kids, I need to, I've always predicated myself on breaking a chain. And then the stigma about mental health and seeking, a therapist if need be. And that's another word right there.
Right.
Especially in the Black community, like, oh, you need a therapist.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? But yeah, in other communities, they regular as all can be, but got therapists. Like that's a regular life for them. It's like, this is how you think I stay regular. Like
real talk, ever since I got home, like, before I came home, when I came back here to Cali from Washington, I was seeing a dude. Like, he was talking to me about some stuff. It helped. It doesn't seem like it should
that's
help.
what I was gonna ask. I was gonna
helped.
ask, like, how was that? Like, because I'm like, I can figure it out. It's always that tough bravado, like I can figure it out, like I can handle all my problems. Like, since I've been young, I've been the man of the house. You always supposed to have that, that mantra. I can figure it out. We can get through
it. He pointed out some stuff that I didn't really notice. So now, whenever I say certain things, I'm like, oh, wait, I'm doing that thing again, and I'm trying to change that. Trying to make it better.
Made you cognizant of it.
Yeah, it's not an easy road, but
no.
And I think that's happened to me. Like I've caught myself in those moments, and And that's why I think it's time for me to seek out, maybe someone externally to, have a conversation with, to see, what I mean? Because, put it this way, I probably have a lot more childhood traumas than I would probably ever admit it because of, the repression. I'll just be like, yeah, it's cool. Like, cause my childhood was cool. A lot of people was worse. Someone's better. It is what it is. But that's not how you get through stuff.
Yeah. And it's like that fishbowl, little theory where the fish swims around in a dirty bowl, but doesn't know it's dirty. And it takes someone outside of the bowl to see just how toxic that fishbowl is, not how bad it needs to be clean. When you're in the eye of the storm, it's hard to see the disaster. So yeah, that's all just in it when we just allow it to just be suppressed. So yeah, being able to see through all that BS and not let the masculine toxic mindset just destroy all that stuff, while get clarity and see all the like shit that we need to get out, and not just have it just stuck in and fester and create something else.
Don't go away. Yeah, it don't go away. It just manifests itself as something else or anger.
That's why you gotta find those outlets. Like for us, gaming, that's one of those main outlets, gaming, music, entertainment.
Lots of weed. Yeah. But there ain't enough weed in the world to handle your mental health. So it's something that you gotta, take seriously and deal with. And you can have your outlets, but you gotta have those also honest conversations. And be strong mentally and physically. So I think going forward, me being cognizant of it, and of all us being cognizant of it, is going to help and fight the stigma of mental health. It's not just a thing that where you're crazy, but I feel like if I don't take care of it, that it could be the future. It could be crazy, or crazy moments. What Boondocks call it, nigga moments.
Yeah.
I think those are manifested out of poor mental health.
Yeah, and just make fun of it. I mean, it's not that we make fun of it, but we make light of the situation that we're given. So that's kind of how we treat those nigga moments. It's just like, yeah, you know what? It's life, but it shouldn't be. So I'm making that step to be like, yo, this isn't right. Let's change it.
Right. Yep. See, that's how mental health checking is supposed to do. So audience is looking like, what the hell? This is something that we need to do. Like, I connect with y'all, and y'all can keep me honest. Like, y'all know me closer than a lot of people in life, and y'all know like if I'm bullshitting y'all, and y'all can call me out on the bullshit. Like, nigga, G, get the fuck out of here. So that's good. And another topic, kind of along the lines of this, is the tragedy surrounding DMX.
Oh yeah, I mean, I remember like the first time that he appeared, because the first debut that he dropped on was LL Cool J's 4321, and I remember like all my boys was like, "What the fuck is this weird dude barking on the track?" And I was like, "No, you don't understand this. This dude is dope." Like my boys was tripping like, "Nah, man, this dude was whack." And I'm like, "Nah, he's." And it was like there was like his cadence and just the way he was. Is also because at that same time, that was when Puff Daddy was taking over the game with the flashy suits and talking about like rap was going into a different era where it's basically like kind of what, I'm not gonna say that, but where it was more focused on money and jewelry, and he was right there like taking it back, like, nah, we're gonna talk about the stick up kids and like how things are. Like a lot of people, I mean, and that's the reason why he had like that brand that went past just the Black community, even like, people who don't even like rock with hip hop and rap like that, like people who were just like rockers, real rockers, like was like, DMX, this guy is kind of cool. Like, so he had that like mainstream feel, even though he wasn't like, trying to be mainstream or what you say, commercial.
Because
and like he just had that appeal.
He put it out there, the good, the bad, like it was on display. It was in the public eye for a long time. You know, we saw his successes, his heights. We saw some of his traumas, his lows.
Yeah.
He was always a public eye and a public figure. But regardless, when you see the interviews and when you hear people closest talking to him, like he always was optimistic.
Yeah.
And he was always optimistic about life, no matter what situation he was going through. He saw the good out of that situation. You know, whether it's recovering from drugs, addiction, death around him, just struggles in general, he saw the good, and he was working, and he was always working to be better.
Yeah, I mean, and that was a real struggle he had. You know, that he every time when it would pop up, like, because there was one time he was like, he did something at the airport, he like grabbed like a vehicle or something, like, and that was like, it almost became cartoonish to a point
Super
where
real,
people were just like,
yeah,
that's DMX. He just DMX is going to do DMX, like that's him. Just,
he made us believe like he was 6'7", just this giant of a dude. Like, it's crazy.
Like for a while, I was kind of paying attention to. I don't know if you heard, like DMX does a lot of poetry.
Yeah,
he's done a couple, deaf poetry episodes, and like that stuff is deep, is real. Like that's what really got me. Like there's a lot of hip hop poets out there. Unfortunately, they don't get enough recognition.
No,
but DMX, man, it's deep.
Yeah, and even to me, he transcended. Because I'm keep honest. Back in the day, the '90s, early 2000s, I was East Coast, West Coast war, and I was West Coast, for life. But he transcended that. I feel like X was bigger than that. Like you can rock with him regardless of what coast. He didn't really put you in that bubble.
Yeah, because I think he had a joint with Jail Felony, and it's like that was one of the joints. I think I know a lot of dudes who were just straight like West Coast fans were kind of like looked at him, was like, yo, this DMX, okay, I might have to check him out. But yeah, man, I love this first album. It's Dark and Hell is Hot. Like, man, yeah, like there's just so many memorable, like very quotable lines he had just all throughout that album. And it's just like one of the things where he did the
Grandma's Garage.
He switched up his voice with the whole Damien thing. It was like, yeah, like that was just the one thing, just constantly got like back and forth, just played, rewind, stop, like I try not to use that terminology because I just dated myself with that stuff. Like, stop, rewind. What do you mean? Just hit replay. What are you talking
about? Walkman. Yeah. Like I said, a lot of accidents in Grandma's Garage. Classics, just dropping classics.
That garage has so much history, man.
Yeah.
They all had the whole music system set up.
Yes, but I was thinking about, also DMX, everywhere he was at, like he kind of took center stage. And I was thinking about one of the best fighting games of all time, Def Jam Fight for New York. This dude was the hardest dude to beat. Even like Snoop Dogg was the boss dude at the end.
He had that energy in the game.
Like he would come out of nowhere, like momentum shift. Like DMX was a problem in that game, and I was like thinking, man, I wish I can play that game again, man. It's just like just to have him.
I'm saying.
I mean, that game alone needs to be remastered. I mean, I'm just going to keep saying it until one day someone who has the ability to do that, like, remaster that game.
Hashtag Fight for New York remaster.
Yeah, not Vendetta. That we don't want Vendetta.
No. Fight for New York. Not Icon.
Icon. Vendetta was all right. Icon was trash. Do not do nothing with Icon, bro.
Icon killed the franchise.
Yeah, don't look at that game for any inspiration.
Just I don't even know what they was thinking about when they even did it.
That's like the Tokyo Drift of the series, bro. Just take that one out.
But here's the thing: they was able to take Tokyo Drift and make that relevant in the franchise
in the future.
True.
Yeah. We're not gonna make Icon relevant.
No, I can't do that.